Is resentment ruling your life? For the longest time, I was functioning out of a space and out of a mental space of it's me against them. I need to prove myself to this party of they. And I just was doing everything in my life out of this space, out of this mindset of resentment. I was just convinced that people had it out for me, that people didn't want me to be happy, or that I had to work harder, I had to really prove myself, and I had to strive. I had to, do things that maybe I didn't even want to do, right? Pursuing a certain career, going for a certain degree, doing this, doing that. I had to do these specific things to impress them in order to prove myself to them. Even though I didn't want these things, I felt like I had to prove myself to these people. The moment that I was able to release my resentment and actually start being healed, actually healing myself, healing the past wounds, healing, the way that I had been feeling, when I actually did the work and started healing, I was able to begin thriving. I was able to start actually doing the things that I wanted to do in my life without shame, without embarrassment, and without feeling like I needed to prove myself to somebody else. I was able to stop being hurt and start being healed. The only way that I was really able to achieve that end was to forgive. Now, I think that sometimes forgiveness is sort of looked at as like, oh, you're forgetting about, your hurts, or they really hurt you, they don't deserve to be forgiven. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person, okay? Like, forgiveness is 100% a you thing. Obviously, if somebody asks you for forgiveness, if somebody's apologizing to you and like, will you please forgive me? Then that's like that's an interpersonal type of situation, right? When you are able to say, you know what? I'm going to forgive this person. I'm going to forgive this situation. I'm going to decide to let this go. That is 100% a you decision, a you action, and a you process, okay? I actually did this about a year ago, a little over a year. I was watching a video on YouTube this one day, and I had already sort of been on this journey of trying to heal and trying to really sort of rewrite my mindset and rewrite who I am and everything like that, right? I was already in that space. But then I watched this video, and it was about like, okay, so if you want to actually achieve your dreams and receive them into your life, like, how do you do that, right? Like, how do you actually start receiving your dreams into your life? What is that resistance? What is resisting the things that you desire most in your life? And what this video was basically saying was that you might have this hurt inside of you. You might have this resentment inside of you that you just cannot let go. You haven't let go of. And you need to spend some time forgiving. And I've told this story to a number of people where it's like, I was house sitting for my sister on this particular weekend, and I went to her house. I was completely alone for like 3 days, and I literally sat on her couch and cried. And I was forgiving people. I had like journaled, and I had like written out like, oh my gosh, like this person, and this is what they did, this is how they hurt me, this is what I feel about this just hurts. And then out loud, I literally would like talk to the idea of them, like, so and so, this is what you did, this is what you did, this is what you did, and I forgive you. I literally spent time by myself talking to absolutely no one, but talking to basically the memory and like I said, the idea of this person, and saying, oh man, eyelash, and saying, I forgive you. Like, I'm letting go of this. I'm releasing this. I'm done holding on to this. And I mean, I think that like I said, I was crying. I was crying like the whole time, like flat out sobbing the whole time. And I think that there was so much feeling in that moment, right? Because number one, I was letting go of something that was really quite the burden, right? I mean, I was letting go of something that was really heavy on my shoulders, heavy on my heart, heavy on my mind, and that was really wreaking havoc inside of me and in my life. I was letting go of those things. And then I was also releasing a lot of emotion that I had not allowed to come out, right? And I think that so often when we're holding on to these hurts and when these hurts are really ruling our lives, that happens because we refuse to let the emotion out. It's like it's bound up inside of us. Whether that's because we feel like we're not allowed to cry, or we feel like it's weak to be emotional and to feel the feelings, and, or if we are just unaware or we're too angry to let go of it. Sometimes we like to be hurt. Sometimes we really enjoy being hurt. And I was struggling with that too. So it's like, if I'm hurt, then I have a reason to be mad because this person deserves it, right? But when I really spent time saying, you know what, I'm going to let go of that. I'm going to let go of that, release that, forgive that, and move on with my life. Once I did that, I was able to, of course, start actually healing. I was able to actually start looking at my life and seeing, this is how I want my life to look, and this is what I want to do with my life. And I don't need to ask the memory of this individual permission to do this thing in my life, right? I don't have to ask permission to pursue the life that I want. It allowed me to have a lot of mental freedom. I wasn't thinking about them. I wasn't thinking about the situation with them. I wasn't angry with them. I wasn't holding on to them so tightly that it was ruling every part of my life. I mean, there were so many things that it was like literally just this release. It was like I had all this extra time now in my mind because I wasn't so hyper-focused on them. And when I had more time in my mind to actually think about the things that I wanted to think about, do the things that I wanted to do, pursue the things that I wanted to pursue, be healed, once I actually had the mental time to be healed and the freedom to be healed, I was able to actually start figuring out, this is what I want my life to look like. This is what I want my life to look like. I don't want it to look like all of these other things. I want it to look like this, and this is how I'm gonna do it, right? This is how I'm gonna do it. Figuring that stuff out. And I mean, it was literally like night and day. I mean, within a week, I felt immensely better. It wasn't like, oh my word, now I have $1 million in the bank because I did that, right? It wasn't like that, but I felt free, right? I felt free, and I felt allowed, and I felt like I was allowed to pursue the life that I desired to pursue. I felt like I was free to do the things that I wanted to do. I felt completely liberated from all of that hurt. I mean, the hurt is just this bondage that is so heavy, right? I mean, it's like cement shoes, and you are drowning in hurt, right? And there's no way to be free of it. But when you allow yourself to be healed, when you allow yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to forgive this stuff and I'm going to move on with my life. When you allow yourself to do that, you allow yourself to actually thrive, and you allow yourself to be loose, and you allow yourself to be loose enough to actually pursue the things that you want to pursue, right? You're not worried about, getting back at somebody. You're not worried about making them feel bad for how they treated you. You're not worried about, being angry, just simply being angry with somebody. When you allow yourself to be healed, when you allow yourself to stop being hurt and be healed and to forgive, then you are able to actually move forward. You are able to release what is holding you back, and you are able to obtain what is going to progress you forward. Now, I also paired this with counseling. I went and saw a counselor because there was a lot of other stuff going on in my life that was like, girl, you need help, right? So I do want to say that if you have access to counseling or therapy of any sort, then that is a fabulous idea. Everybody should go and talk to a counselor at some point in time in their life. I am just determined, and go and talk to a counselor with open ears and a willingness to actually change. Okay, that is the one advice. That is the one piece of advice whenever somebody goes to a counselor and says, it doesn't work for me, I automatically think, okay, are you actually listening to them? Are you actually doing what they tell you to do? Are you being pliable with their advice? Because if you're not, then yeah, it's going to be pretty ineffective. Okay, so I 100% recommend counseling, and I 100% recommend actually doing what the counselor tells you to do. Okay, so that is sort of how I came from a place of being hurt to a place of being healed. I hope that this has been very helpful for you. I know that doing this kind of work, it is very challenging. I mean, like I said, I wrote out all the people that I needed to forgive and that I wanted to forgive and wanted to let go. And I mean, that took me a good 4 hours. It took me 4 hours to write, the people that hurt me and the situations. And then when I started forgiving people out loud, I found more people in my mind that it's oh yeah, I need to let go of that too. Okay, so it takes time. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's hard. It's really hard, especially when you just love being angry with them. I loved being angry with them. But when you come to a place where it's you know what? I'm ready to actually own my life. I'm ready to actually be the one who's calling the shots in my life, not this memory or this hurt that has happened in my life. I'm ready to actually be the one in control of my life. Once you come to that place, you are able to actually let go, and you are able to forgive, and you are able to embody a healed life. If you are interested in seeing more about being healed and really changing your life, transforming your life, and coming to a new place in your life, then I highly suggest watching this video right here. It is all about your self-concept and how to create a self-concept that is one that is healed and one that is equal with your dreams and your desires. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you guys oh so very much. And until we meet again, so long.